Welcome back to Amber Unabridged. I'm Amber, and this is my Chapter 2 video for The Tale of Genji, for the hashtag ReadGenji, read-along, video series, situation. I'm posting it very late, much later than I had planned to. I was having just a really rough time wanting to read or do anything for YouTube, and I just decided to indulge in my needs, and now I'm trying to film the video. However, I will say that when I read Chapter 2, I was in a little bit of a hurry because I was originally trying to post this when I was going to schedule myself to post it. And I realized after the fact that I didn't have a whole lot to say about it. And so I read my reader's guide from William J. Pewitt for The Tale of Genji for Chapter 2, because it deep dives into chapters 1 through 9, and then it sort of blocks out the rest of the book into chunks. But I read the guide for Chapter 2, and I found out that apparently the chapter that I didn't pay close enough attention to is basically the rubric for the entire rest of the novel. So this video is not an in-depth analysis. It's kind of more of an overview and a warning to read Chapter 2 very carefully if you have not done so already. So there are some trigger warnings for the second part of Chapter 2. Honestly, mild trigger warnings for the first part, but mostly for the second part, so beware of that going forward. So essentially Chapter 2 is Genji is at the palace with To no Chujo, which is his brother-in-law, his wife's brother, and two of their friends, a captain and somebody else. And they're stuck inside because of the rain, and they decide to start talking about their ideal women, essentially. What they want in a woman, what her qualifications are, what her abilities are, her demeanor, her aesthetic, all kinds of things. And it was annoying to read, which is probably why I didn't pay extremely close attention, because it's just several pages of them describing women who probably don't exist. So it was interesting. According to my reader's guide, it's significant foreshadowing for the rest of the book. These various specific archetypes end up popping up throughout Genji's life, which is throughout the novel, and apparently I should have paid closer attention. The guide also states that Genji's response and reactions to the conversation and what he has to say are significant, but all I remember is that he took a nap. So I don't know what that means for him and for the book, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. So yeah, essentially I don't have that much in-depth analysis for anybody, but I'm hoping that if you watch this video before you read the chapter, or if you just have a really great memory, then you'll be able to make note of the things that you're reading in this chapter. So that's the first half of Chapter 2. The second half might actually be the part involving the directional taboo, or it's just a second one. I think it's just a second one. But Genji ends up having to stay at this house, and I don't remember who's what and what's what and who's relation to who and whatever. But essentially it's like this dude's father and his new wife that own the house, they're the heads of the house or whatever. And it's like the governor's father or something. And that's where Genji and his folks need to stay. Not like parents' folks, but like his people. Because when you travel during that time frame, you have like a whole host of people accompanying you. If you have any money, because you need like servants and runners and whatever else people needed to help them with stuff. So they stay there. Genji ends up seducing the wife of this homeowner, and as a thanks for the hospitality. And then he keeps trying to message her discreetly using her younger brother as like a messenger boy, as a page. And she keeps essentially rejecting him because she's like, no, we shouldn't do that, even though it seems like she might be interested. But honestly, that part wasn't very clear to me, so I'm not sure how willing she was in the first place. So essentially, he can try to seduce her again, and she removes herself from her normal like rooms. She goes into the house near her husband or further away, or she leaves or something. She makes it so there is no possibility that he's going to get what he wants, which is her business. So in frustration, he decides that he will instead sleep with the young page boy, who is her brother and very young, and therefore works for him. Genji's a dick. So that kind of sums up chapter 2 in a really basic way, since I am failing at my deep dive analysis. But like I said when I began this project, I'm not a scholar. I'm just an enthusiast who really loves books and Japanese culture. And I want to learn more about history, and I want to learn more about this book that's referenced in all kinds of Japanese media. So we're going to go through this journey together. If you've read this book and you found that chapter 2 really did, foreshadow the rest of the book, let me know what your thoughts were on that in the comments. If you are reading it currently, did I give you enough warning before you got to chapter 2? Yeah, so any other thoughts you might have about the Tale of Genji? How are you enjoying the writing so far? How are you enjoying the world that it's set in? Leave all of your comments down below. Thanks for watching. Bye.